All right, Panther fans. So, sorry about not being able to get any content out yesterday. Long story short, I recorded 2 different shows. My microphone, the Yeti microphone, was malfunctioning for some reason. I couldn't get that out, and then I finally sat down about 8 o'clock at night to write a post to explain that. And Fluffy, he needed my help. He hurt himself again. He's been limping around for a couple of days. He's okay today. So at that point, I just slammed the laptop, put it down, and I relaxed the rest of the night. I gave up. Now, so the Panthers made all their big moves, and I've got something to say at the end of this video. So if you like this channel, you support this channel, I have a little something to say at the end of the video. But the worst, the best, I don't know how I feel about this. We waited all summer long to see what moves Zito was going to make to get us under the cap so we could have some extra players. And we made no moves to get us under the cap so we would have extra players. Okay? And the other, I'm looking at the roster. So the lines are what we expected them to be. Now, I'm going to still say I would have preferred Heponiemi over Colin White, but I get the fact that Bill Zito didn't draft Heponiemi and he signed Colin White. By the way, the only 3 Panthers on the opening day roster that this team drafted are Barkov, Lundell, and Ekblad. And that's it. There's nobody left on the team that we drafted. It's all free agents and waiver wire pickups and trades. The whole team for the most part. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. So it looks like Colin White's going to start the season on the 3rd line with Lundell, Luosterainen. Now I think Lundell, Luosterainen is going to be as good or better than Lundell and Marchment. Not the same player, but I think you're going to see more offensive production out of that line, and I just hope that Colin White can keep up with them, because I'm pretty sure Heponiemi can keep up with them. Different story. All right, now, in terms of the defense, obviously everybody knows we didn't lose any of our players. I'm not backing off, and this kind of leads into what I was going to say. I'm just going to kind of put it all in one big thing here. Stu likes to say that we're the #1 Florida Panthers podcast. Now, the truth is I don't know what the numbers are, okay? I started doing this 2016, and Stu, if you're watching this, just bear with me. Hear me out, okay? I started doing this 2016 after the summer of hell when we got rid of Gabranson and the analytics and Tom Rowe and all of that. And at that point, as far as I know, if I'm leaving anybody out, it's not intentional. But as far as I know, before I started, it was Jacob with Point to Point, and Lucas was doing the videos. Those were the guys. And after I did videos for a few years, Lucas dropped off. And the only people left, as far as I know, and when I say people, like I'm not counting like George and the guys that worked for news organizations. I'm talking about like independent, just fan stuff. As far as I know, the only people left from that time are Jacob and myself. And so I don't know what his numbers are. So when Stu says it's #1, I don't know. But what I will say is this, and as an aside, before anybody says anything, there's never been one bit. Jacob has never been anything but nice to me. I want to make that clear just in case, because in the past there have been other people trying to get me in between other people, and Jacob has never been anything but nice to me. I completely respect the man's work ethic to have done what he does for as long as he has done it. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of dedication. So before anybody even says anything, don't even go there. Jacob and I are just fine, all right? I completely respect what he does. Now, Stu says #1 podcast. Okay. What I can say is this. We are the most passionate. There's nobody else that's out there giving you right there in the moment, raw emotion, breaking news on how we're feeling in the moment. Okay? And I'm not criticizing anybody who doesn't do that. The point is that, I made the video the other day about Heponiemi and Lucas Carlson. And I'm still confused beyond all words as to how the team is valuing Lucas Carlson not just less than Kierstead, but less than the waiver pickup that we got, Josh Mahura, who is apparently going to be in the lineup Thursday night, who's never played a game for us, while we have Lucas Carlson, who was a solid-ass defenseman for us last year in the AHL. If somebody can make it make sense to me, be my guest. But that's a different story. The point is that if I didn't have this emotion, if I didn't have this passion, if I wasn't willing to stop watching the Dolphin game in the middle of the game, come on here and give you guys my take, I wouldn't have made 1,100 videos. I wouldn't be able to make 3 videos per game, where it's the live stream, the recap, and the review with Stu. I'm able to do that because of how passionate I am and how much I care about the team. So I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to tone it down. I'm not going to take an L because something I was upset about the possibility of happening didn't happen. I will continue to do what I've done for now my 7th season, which is be raw, real, and react in front of the camera for your entertainment. And that's not going to stop, and I'm not going to change that. I think that's enough. I think this didn't happen. I should also be clear, this was not triggered by any one event. This has been building over the years, and I mean over the years. Back in 2016, I'll tell you a story. Back in 2016, when I first started doing the videos, and it was after that horrible summer, Panthers Twitter was a completely different, it was just completely different. But one thing that we did have for a time was we had a certain segment of people that were coming on questioning someone's fanhood if they were upset at the owners or upset at management or upset and yelling and screaming and upset and passionate. There was a certain segment of people that were saying, you're not a real fan, you're a terrible fan. As a collective, as a group on Panthers Twitter, at that point we all agreed to say, you know what? We're not going to do this. We're not going to become football. We're not going to start calling each other clowns and all of that crap for our differing opinions. And so now you see, for the most part, we can amicably disagree. I have my opinion, they have their opinions. Mostly none of the different podcasts and shows, I don't think anybody generally has the same opinion that I do. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But we all have our different styles. This is my style. It's served me well. I've got almost 6,000 subscribers. This is my 7th season of doing it. And I'm not going to change. I'm not going to stop. So if it bothers anybody that I'm raw and real and passionate, you're welcome to go watch somebody who's always going to be calm, cool, and collective. You're welcome to go watch somebody who might give you the story after it's happened. I'm giving you my take before the story is even halfway through. That's what I do. And then afterwards, I either say that's what I thought was going to happen, or I'm still pissed off that it happened, or I'm glad it didn't happen, like the thing with Carlson and Heponiemi. I'm glad we still have them. It still pisses me off that that our coach, I assume, is valuing Colin White more than Heponiemi and Kierstead more than Lucas Carlson. You guys can make that make sense to me, but I'm not going to change my opinion on that. I like what Carlson saw, and that's one thing that a lot of people agree upon, is that what's the deal with this Carlson guy? He looks good, and I'm not a big analytics guy, but if you go look at his analytics, they're good. They're good. So that's my soapbox for today. Now we've got a few more videos coming out today. I hope, fingers crossed, for a special guest later on today. But in terms of the roster, it is exactly what we have. No extra players. We have no extra players. We have 12 forwards, and we just barely have 6 defensemen because we claimed this guy Mahura, because we released Carlson, because somebody says you can't release a guy who's injured in Kierstead, but he's on IR now. I don't know how that works. So did we only pick up Mahura for this one game because he has to be on the roster because we picked him up, and then we can send him down and bring Carlson back up? If we bring Carlson back up for game 2 and he's on our top 6, then I will be content. But as of now, the optics are that they value Kierstead and some guy off the street more than Lucas Carlson. And the poor dude's wife just had a baby too, man. Not cool. Not cool. That's, be honest with you, that's part of what irritated me about it so much, is that he didn't play the beginning of preseason because he was waiting for his wife to have a baby, right? And then they cut the guy. Not okay. That's nobody's going to convince me that that move was okay. And I know they didn't get taken, but it could have just as easily been somebody finding Carlson than us taking Mahura. People are saying nobody has the cap space. I mean, it's $800,000, right? I mean, we waived Carlson and had the cap space to pick up Mahura. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a long year. It's going to be a good year. We're winning the cup, but I have a feeling it's going to be a highly emotional year. It's going to be a slow start. Look, the lines, okay? I mean, the only guys that have really played together line-wise are on the top line, right? I mean, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Colin White. Lundell hasn't played with Colin White all preseason. Just boom, there you go. There's your line mate, opening day. So at this point, my prediction of us starting slow, how are we not going to start? If we don't start slow now, we got a hell of a team, because there's going to be no chemistry out there Thursday night. All right. Appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys again at least once, if not twice, later on today.